Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the hello. Get Jesus. People trying interrupting my big rant intro. I haven't been getting these intros off very well lately, have I? I think I need a set director here to slap me in the face and get me focused. So here we go again. We'll try that again. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's weekend frivolity. This is our broiler chicken show. In fact, actually, probably a cool soundbite. Let's see what we got here. So that was posted in the lounge just a couple minutes ago. Get everybody ready to go for the show. Thank you, Ryan. All these guys, they have just this huge list of all the sound bites from me. It's one thing that's going to turn up 500 years from now or 1,000 years from now in the archives or this crazy guy's rants. That'd be funny. Probably we should save them on a USB stick or something like that and then bury it or something. Some time capsule. There you go. Bing bong. Well, they say every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. So every time, I don't know whether you guys on YouTube hear that or not. But anyway, the aliens find the sound bites. I don't know. They'll think everybody's insanely cool. Hardly. Be like, okay, we don't need to go into self-deprecation to start this adventure off today. You know, I have to say, I even was joking with the people on the site before getting this video going here today. I'm not even really quite sure what it is I should be talking to you guys about here. I mean, cats and dogs are officially economically living together. I mean, for lack of a better term. They always say it's darkest before the dawn. I get the impression it's kind of like that right now. It's, for Joe Sixpack just looking out in the world and not having any sort of framework to work against, man, it must be confusing. It must be confusing, and it must be, you just must be filled with such a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? It might be a function of our sort of what human beings were actually built to do way back when. Because I kind of think we're like a slave race. We might have, I've often conjectured we might have actually been built for war. We seem to be really, really good at killing each other and killing things. I wonder if part of our purpose originally was to wage war. I don't know. But what I do find is that this species, once it gets sort of a collective sort of, okay, we all sort of agree we're heading in this direction, life becomes fairly easy. You just sort of go with the flow, and, you get trends established, and especially in the fluffy part of the cycle. The fluffy part of the cycle is when the predominant demographic is in their sort of, they're reaching into their peak earnings years. That's the fluffy part of the cycle. It's a lot of fun. Money's just flowing around like crazy, and people are having a good time. There's good price stability, not a lot of scarcity. Then, sadly, when you have to switch and that generation leaves the economy, then you get a lot of sort of resource scarcity. So we've actually had to go through that period over the past 5-10 years, right? And the central banker's solution to all this is, well, just dilute the currency, print more money, and we'll just roll this debt out, keep issuing new debt. We'll just keep, refunding the old debt with new debt, and just keep on keeping on. I think their big hope economically is that the next sort of millennial generation kicks in. They sort of accept the fact that a loaf of bread now is going to cost $5. Keep in mind, when I was a kid, I remember going to a little grocery store and getting a loaf of bread for like 50 cents. So in essence, what is that? That's like 10x inflation in my lifetime. They usually say that what is it? Money, purchasing power of money should fall in half, or your money should double at 7.2% interest every 10 years. So a lot of investors like to use that as a benchmark. So, how old am I? I'm old. 50 years. 50 years, that loaf of bread has gone from basically 50 cents to $5. So that's what 1970 to 2020. You can actually pretty much figure out exactly what our sort of annual rate of inflation is. Sometimes we run a little hotter, sometimes we run a little colder, but on balance, it's actually not a bad framework. And my hunch is it's probably somewhere in that 3% kind of idea. Because I used to, like if you think about the stock market, it works the same way. So if you go from like 1,000, what's sort of natural growth? Well, it actually goes in threes, and think of like pi, right? 3.14. So $1, and what I see is of natural growth rate, $1 to $3. And then the next one is $3 to $9, which in essence, and of course it's a little bit above 3.14, which takes that up into basically $1 went to $10, or that 10x inflation. So over 50 years, you can kind of start to get the math. You can kind of understand that. Sadly, when I was a kid going through that fear cycle, I remember specifically when I was, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, going to the, local candy store and stuff, and I could get a bag of chips for 25 cents and a pop for 35 cents. And then through the 1979, 1980, 1981 inflation spiral, prices basically tripled. So that can of pop went to $1, $1.10, $1.15. Bag of chips went to like 75 cents a dollar. And that was pretty shocking for a lot of... I remember there was this cute little coffee shop that I used to go, and I used to play video games for like 10 cents. And I used to put 10 cents... I used to put nickels into these video games, nickels and dimes. And this jukebox, I used to constantly play Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, I Love Rock and Roll. And the teenagers in the little coffee shop, they used to hate me because I used to play the damn song over and over and over and over. Memories of days gone by. Anyway. So that was the big shift then, and frankly speaking, I see the exact same thing happening now. What's fascinating is that this theoretically should have been a deflationary cycle, and if the powers that be, if the bankers didn't run this world, then the economy and the stock market and housing prices and stuff, and people would have been living in their cars, and Hoovervilles and all that kind of stuff would have happened following the 2008 crisis. That didn't happen because the bankers own our world, and they basically sacrificed the purchasing power of the currency to prevent that from happening. And history looking back, it'll be interesting to see how how that decision was judged. It'll be a really interesting historical decision because. And I think Ben Bernanke, remember, he was a history of economics, Princeton, Harvard, Yale, all that kind of stuff. These are pretty damn smart people. And, I think he looked at the U.S. situation in 2007, 2008. He saw the writing on the walls. It was exactly the same as the situation in 29. And had the bankers not played ball, I think probably the whole house of cards would have collapsed. But they played ball. And I think I've shown you, publicly in these rants. I've shown you guys before that the picture of the Great Depression, greed and then fear cycle, greed cycle, and then fear cycle unwinding, basically a full generation. This image looks almost exactly identical to what we just went through. I mean, shockingly similar. So this is the greed cycle and the fear cycle through the baby boomers. And the only reason why it looks like this is because it takes into account the dilution of the currency. Right? If you look at it just in regular dollar terms, they don't look at all like it all. So, crazy world. Economics 101. And as I said, I don't know how history is going to judge this decision. It was a bold decision, and it looks like they pulled it off because, in essence, I don't think there was any other alternative to the world than the U.S. dollar system. Had there been an alternative, I think the Americans would have been toast. So you could make the argument that Germany, after the end of the First World War, was put into a horrible situation where there, much more money was leaving the country than coming in, so massive deficits. Their solution, which is in essence the same thing that the Americans just tried to pull off here with QE, was to print the shit out of the D-mark, or then the mark, to try and support the economy, and the end result was massive runaway hyperinflation. The key there, though, was that the bankers walked away from Germany. Do the bankers walk away from the Americans in this situation? I don't know. I don't think so. And also, too, sort of big picture, historical rhetoric. I don't know whether we in the West really know the whole story of how deeply intertwined China and the United States are from sort of a very structural level. A lot of what you see in the public might be just show, bluster. I don't know. I do find it interesting that, Mr. China hater, and now he's basically gone. He might be back in 4 years, though, folks. Call it just a reprieve. Through that entire 4-year period, he never once said, you know what, let's just kick China off of this US dollar peg. Enough is enough. China, if you really are a free-floating country, off you go. We don't want to have anything more to do with you. I mean, I never heard that conversation in 4 years. I mean, what the fuck? So I wonder if there are bigger things, and I've mused about this in these public rants. I wonder if there are bigger things going on under the surface that we're just not made aware of. So anyway, now of course the political situation is probably much more favorable for China here in the West. Ironically enough, you may actually see almost like a little bit of a honeymoon period, but we'll see. It'd be interesting to see how hard China plays their hand here. I don't know whether it's in their best interest to go too hard right now, because what you might find, and this is a big danger, is that Joe's got to perform here, because Mr. Trump's going to be sitting on the sidelines, basically critiquing every single word the guy says. So, if Joe fumbles here, or China, becomes all of a sudden really aggressive, then Mr. Trump's going to sit there and go, I told you so. So, ironically enough, Mr. Biden's on kind of a hot seat now for the next little while. It all depends on, let's see how hard they go after Trump here. I mean, do they really try to drive him into the ground, or does he have enough, in a weird sort of way, for the 1%, Anunnaki, that kind of thing. It actually is good to have a guy like Trump around. He's a good distraction, and he keeps the masses occupied. Blah 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 blah. I just think that maybe they just weren't expecting him to pull it off a victory over Hillary. I think that just totally took them by surprise. There you go. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Perfect time of year for that line, eh? Another bell just rang. Actually, it's my superstar I don't even know what he does, man. He's probably going to do more work around TRI than I do eventually. Kevin just joined us here. Actually, Kevin just got a new. I don't know whether it's a promotion or but whether maybe we are asking more of him. But anyway, everybody should congratulate Kevin's become more entrenched with TRI, and he's going to have more responsibilities around the site going forward. Anyway, happen to see him there. Yay! Way to go, Kevin. So, you know what's probably best? I mean, I could sit here and blab away about where the corn's going. I mean, the problem here is that, we're in the phase of the market where, it's actually probably not in your best interest to predict tops and bottoms and pivots through this because the air is so emotionally charged. And this goddamn thing could do anything it wants. I mean, the bears are gone. They flushed all the bears out, and it's just really a question of what their ultimate objective is. I like to draw on a whole bunch of levels and just see how the market acts around levels. But for the time being, my general philosophy here is, look, we're coming into this. This is like a once in a 40-year event. And it's a fear cycle peak too, which is awful. I mean, you all out in the public should shit your pants. And I can tell you just about exactly the time, so make sure you have a diaper on. You should all probably collectively shit your pants in, I guess about 24, 48, about 72 hours. Good part about it is that should be the sort of the climax of this. Somebody was asking me, how do you put this into context? I mean, the problem with all this, of course, is that it's, how do you see the forest through the trees? Are you going to be the guy that actually picks the exact top in Bitcoin? I mean, seriously? I mean, the irony of it all is you want to make it really simple, which is really freaky, and it's more sort of that tinfoil hats kind of talk. But I find it really interesting, the actual mark that they actually marked this Bitcoin to top out here this last cycle. So if you want to come up with marks, I mean, that high there, was that it? No, where am I? What am I looking at here? I'm looking at OK Coin forwards. But that high from way back when was, I mean, it was so textbook. And you want to, if you're going to pick levels where I think they're going to stop the market, I would say pick one of those kind of crazy ass levels. And usually, for whatever it's worth, what I've noticed, if you're thinking a big pivot high or a big pivot low, usually, I don't know what the hell the damn thing is. Usually it happens on a big fat round number. So, I've been watching this damn thing like a hawk for I don't know how many years now. And almost always the big pivots are on big fat round numbers. What is this? Yeah, so see that high? I don't know whether you can see that high there. 19,666. And the weird thing is you see that a lot in Bitcoin too. So I don't know, are we going to go up to, what's up, $26,666? Who knows? If anything, probably, you want to impress your friends and family and kind of stuff. The fact, actually that number was pretty round there, 23,777. So actually it does kind of make sense why the market stopped on that number. That's interesting. So, impress your friends and family. This high here, 24,217.38. You can pretty much guarantee everyone that that's not the high. Pretty much guaranteed. Right? And all your friends and family will go, ooh, how did you do that? How did you know? Well, I can guarantee it's not going to pivot on some crazy-ass number like that. It almost always pivots on big, fat, round numbers. It's quite remarkable, really. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was a pretty round number, wasn't it? Maybe not. Oh, that's kind of a weird number. Well, maybe that theory goes right out the window. 31, 22, 28. No, that is a big ugly number. I think I remember this one was a pretty round number. 38.50. Yeah. So that was a big fat round number. 38.50. This one, see there again, like 13.880, right on the nose. You know? So anyway, point here is seeing that high there that was just put in, I guess that was yesterday at 24,217.38. You're pretty much guaranteed that's not a top. I would say, just looking at this daily chart, just really clean. Sometimes actually it's really, maybe that's what we'll do. Sometimes it's really just, let's just zoom out. No fancy lines or anything. Just look at price. We often say that Bitcoin can't sort of start or finish a move without some sort of horrendous face rip. So if anything, that's probably very apt for the end of the move. If you're relatively new to this game, I remember distinctly going through this phase, same sort of thing. And there were people that looked at me with a perfectly straight face and said that Bitcoin will never come down in price again. This is it, Brian. Your reload zone theories, your mountain man theories, they're nonsense. You can get carried away in that kind of conversation, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I would suggest, though, maybe don't put too big of a bet on at any one given point in time. Maybe just like average your way in over time. Then that way, heaven forbid, you happen to have, just horrendous timed your purchase coming in at the end of a big run. If you average your way in, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When a market looks like this, and when it does eventually break, it's going to take some time to clean itself up. But if you average your way in, hey, Brian, I kind of like this Bitcoin story. I'm kind of working my way in. Maybe, you pick up, I don't know, let's say you pick up some there, and then maybe some there, and then maybe some there, and then maybe some there. So ironically, boom, 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 your average is actually right in here. I mean, it's not terrible. Maybe it dumps down, you go, oh, okay, well, I can add some more. Oh, maybe I'll add some more there, which is actually pretty close. Maybe I'll add some more here, whatever. And what actually ends up happening is your average cost ends up falling with the price. So, dollar cost averaging, nanny nibbles. The problem with that, of course, is I wouldn't even really want you to start your sort of nanny nibbles dollar cost averaging until we get back to at least this guy, Mount Man. So I wouldn't even really want you to start coming in on the long side on Bitcoin until we start hitting these kind of numbers. And it sucks, because really what I'm saying is, if you're seeing a market look like this, well, you're kind of late to the party. Hey, there's a good one. The good part about it, Nick, is I don't have any corporate sponsors. So I don't have any guns to my head. I don't have to be politically correct. I just have to do what my conscience tells me to do. And if that means that I'm making a positive difference in this world, awesome. If it means that I'm doing harm and damage to people, the great part about social media is they'll find out. They'll let me know very quickly that, hey, Brian, that wasn't called for. And I'm a huge fan of free speech. I would much rather have my peers and social media and stuff like that tell me that, hey, Brian, that's a little bit overboard. Then me be censored and have to be politically correct and stuff like that. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Nick. Nick says, I think that was Nick. Nick says, my name is Brian Beamish and I tweet like a toddler. Actually, that's pretty generous. I would actually consider myself probably social media wise, because keep in mind, I had this absolute sweetheart of a wife who really sheltered me, but I don't get along with like you other humans very well. Um, and this is, I like to have fun, I mean, this is that's the way I look at this stuff. Is and like I'll call a spade a spade. I mean, I don't know whether Elon Musk is touting this or whatever. The great part about it is, your name could be Joe Bob, right? And it doesn't matter to me if there's something said that I may want to weigh in on, like this kind of stuff here. This is very, very bothersome to me. Nice chicken vid. Yeah. People are literally now making investment decisions based on like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids. I mean, this is nuts. I mean, are you actually wanting to talk about making serious investments in this kind of environment? This is nuts. I told you guys at the beginning of this year, by the end of this year, you're going to like this kid way better than you're going to like an old curmudgeon like me. So, I mean, what am I supposed to do? To be perfectly honest with you, Rick, I'm not taking anything that I see in the market seriously right now at all. Nothing. It's all nonsense. It's all garbage. You're all sucked into this Jupiter-Saturn nonsense. You can go and listen to this kid. I know how this story's going to end. And then, oh, by the way, it'd be really interesting to get this kid to weigh in on U.S. tax policy that's coming down the pike. Now he's going to put on his accountant's hat? Oh, great. So first he was a professional financial advisor. Now he's going to be a professional tax advisor? Oh, goodness. I mean, those two images side by side. Oh, my goodness. That's 2020. This is people through the Jupiter-Saturn cross. This is what's coming down the pike. This kid's going to get fucking destroyed. No offense, sweetie. Looks like you got a good spirit. You're pretty young. My hunch is by summer of 2022, 2023, completely have lost interest in Bitcoin, investing. He's going and loading up on Virgin Galactic stock here. I mean, that was one of his recommendations. Just for fun, let's go look at what the fundamental value of Virgin. Actually, probably what's the best way to do this? Why don't we go? Always dangerous typing in Virgin in your browser. Never know what the hell's gonna come up. Remember, I don't have any corporate sponsors, and I'm silly as fuck. What are we supposed to call these videos and all this stuff? Where's that Nick Sal 310? What are we supposed to call all this shit? I mean, I don't know why you guys are here. Why are you even listening to me? Go listen to your 10-year-old financial advisor. Or how about the guy on the bar stool? He makes pretty good stock picks, doesn't he? Tell you, I think I got another double off on that thing. Oh, goodness. Yeah, thanks, Joshua. Edutainment. All right, let's go take a look at Virgin Galactic. Hey, how do you spell that? There it is, Virgin Galactic. I'm almost afraid to look at these numbers. Well, you're supposed to be investing in companies that have earnings. So, I don't see this company actually earning any money. Right? These companies are supposed to be earnings engines. So, you're not buying into an earnings stream here, that's for certain. Yeah, I'm from Canada. Babby Loram. Babby Loram's trying to nail me down, figure out how he can hack my life and destroy me here. You can see. It's going, okay, where the hell is this guy? We got to focus all of the shit on him and bring this guy into the ground. I can just see it. T-chat can answer. All right, there you go. Anyway, so the point of the matter here is, you're not buying into a company that actually is doing what companies are supposed to do, and that is you invest your money to watch it grow as earning streams grow. Like the reason why Amazon is as expensive as it is because it's just an earnings machine. I'd be curious, why is, this is Richard Branson's company, and I don't understand this, does he not own much of this company anymore? That's very, very small insider ownership. So that's a little suspicious, because I remember Branson. This is his thing, right? So I'm not quite sure why he doesn't still own a bunch of this. Way too many shares out for a guy like me. For anybody who's interested, I like to concentrate on companies that have less than 50 million shares out, ideally. 20, 30 million, perfect. Sometimes if you get into the stocks that have too few shares out, less than 10, 15 million out, ownership can get a bit thin. So, if you're watching this channel and you're kind of like, okay, Mr. Smartass, you're making fun of the kids. Can I please have something that's of value? So at least, I actually feel like I got something out of listening to all your rants. Try and focus in on companies that have less than 50 million shares out. Right? Ideally, we'd like to, if you're going to invest in a company, I'd like to own companies where the insiders have some sort of stake. And that's bothersome. Not carrying any debt, so that's good. Cash is okay, but they're not earning any money. So that means they are going to probably burn through this, and when they do burn through this, is there going to be another financing coming down the pike? I don't know. So that would be a bit concerning to me. And I think what these guys plan to do is sell like seats on their airline for like $500,000 a piece for like a little space trip or something like that. So I guess, they've done some sales. If you go $500,000, I guess, what did they sell? Maybe 10 seats or so? It's $6 billion company. Fuck me. That's a lot of money. So, this is a tough one. I will say one thing, and I don't know where our buddy is long, but, if you just simply use the principles at TRI, if you hunted in like reload zones to maybe reload on this thing, I suppose it's okay, but it's not a name, especially at like $6 billion market cap already. I mean, that's a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of the companies I invested are like it's 10 million, 20 million. To get them to pop to like 50, 100 million and give me my 50x, 100x, well, that's not actually outlandish. Could you get a 10x on this thing? Well, that would mean taking it to like $60 billion. How many companies are there that are out there that are worth $60 billion? I don't know. I suppose a lot these days. But that does seem like a lot of money. I mean, what's the size of Bitcoin blockchain? I don't think it's that big, is it? Anybody know what the size of Bitcoin blockchain is? I think I'd probably bet that Bitcoin blockchain doubles versus this thing doubling from that size. That's just me. I don't know. Could be wrong. Yeah, I suppose, that whole sort of space industry to a certain degree. You know what what does that say? 350 GB? What is that? Gigabillions? BTC now is 440 billion US dollar market cap. Okay, cool. All right, well, then that gigabyte. Okay. It's so adorable is that I actually have all the sort of site people that are crypto experts. They make these answers for me because I'm way too stupid for that kind of stuff. So, like a name like this, I wouldn't be interested in. Just wouldn't. And I guess what I'm worried about is this is a pretty popular name, and the gentleman that I referred to in that video, I mean, I would imagine he's probably sentiment investing. What I'm worried about is, after this crisis is over, and I actually, what, it's kind of cool. That Bond King guy, he he did up a video and he keeps making reference to the commitments of traders reports, and I'm kind of like, this is driving me nuts so many times seeing this that I actually had to respond to him about the commitments of traders reports because I don't think he's quite interpreting it correctly. But that's that's just trader talk, one trader to another. But I did respond to him. I actually took some time. And I responded to him yesterday. So a couple things that jumped out at me. First off, like I said, is there a framework on the other side of COVID for there to be some serious resolution of some major problems that have sort of been put off through COVID and maybe even develop further through COVID? Absolutely. But, I've been at this game a long time, and what I've noticed is that when you're in the crisis, nobody's going to, do things like shit on the, 1%'s not going to shit on the public. They'll do things like mortgage deferral programs and stuff like that at the 11th hour, giving some mercy, that kind of stuff. So I also am, and you guys all know this, but I am a US dollar bull, which interestingly enough is, basically he is a US dollar bull. What I find really interesting, and I don't see why more people aren't talking about this, but if we think about the Spanish flu, and if you go back and watch those videos from that time period, it's shocking. Actually, here, I wouldn't mind seeing you guys over here, so I'll put this over here just so I can put that back over here and see what the hell's going on. Oh, Jesus, there's 81 people over there. Hello, all you 81 peoples. Do yourself a favor. I mean, they're pretty depressing videos, but go watch some of those videos from the 1919 Spanish flu. I mean, fuck me. Philadelphia, they got basically wiped out off the face of the earth. So I get the distinct impression there are going to be a hell of a lot of similarities between the way that society acted coming out the other side of that Spanish flu and what we're seeing right now. And, a lot of people get pissed off at the bankers saying through the 1920s they relaxed credit. But if you think about it, in that Spanish flu kind of environment coming out the other side of that through the 1920s, that's exactly how the Fed is acting right now. Just, okay, look at, no problem, lots of credit, no problem, no problem. And I can see probably through the 2020s here, it's going to be sort of the same scenario, feeds our greed cycle. Baby boomers, millennials, your greed cycle. And then, of course, probably exactly the same as they did in the 1930s. They'll start contracting credit, and we'll have to go through a cleanup of sort of the freeness that they're giving away right now in the market. I was quite surprised, just sitting there thinking about the similarities. I mean, it's quite shocking. Now, with regard to the commitments to traders reports, I want to go on record this just so everybody understands. When you actually study the commitments to traders reports, what you really are studying is what the hell is industry doing. And I don't think a lot of people understand this. Like, the most important category in my eyes in these commitments to trader report is what's called the commercials. They are the people that actually use the commodity. Joshua, you know that awesome cartoon you have of the U.S. Congress through the robber baron days, and all the big industry guys as big fat cats sitting in the background controlling all the politicians. And one guy's like the sugar industry, and one guy's the wheat guy, and one guy's the iron ore guy, and one guy's like the cabbages guy. Those are the... Hey, oh man, you're quick. Good job. So if you read the commercials are these guys. And keep in mind, these guys, they've been around hundreds of years, thousands of years. They will always be around. The commercials are these big guys. You don't actually... Yeah, thank you, Joshua. I'm showing it on the video here right now. And the whole purpose of the Commitment to Traders report originally was to get these guys to at least tell the public what the fuck they're doing. I mean, Mr. Bond guy, I love you dearly. You're totally awesome, but you're concentrating on the wrong players. He's focused in on the large specs. But remember, the large specs, they take the trade to facilitate the hedge for the big guys. Because the big guys, what they need to do is they need to remove price risk from the equation. If you want to learn how hedging industry works, consider taking our education program. We spent 2 full weeks going through the futures industry, Commitments to Traders report, and understanding the different participants and how they act. So, point being, commercials always take the wrong side of the trade, the opposite side of the trade. Why? Because they're hedging. They don't give a shit about price action. They're more concerned about getting the direction of the market right and taking the opposite side, i.e. removing risk, price risk for their clients. The institutions, the green guys, they facilitate the trade, and oh gee whiz, what a polite, convenient coincidence. They happen to be forced to take the right side of the trade, so it's a very convenient relationship. Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, JP Morgan, our buddy Joey Diamond. He has no choice but to make money. What a lucky bastard. But it's just the way the system works. The machine is built for the fat cats I showed you on Joshua's cartoon. And they are much, much, much bigger than a trading desk at Goldman Sachs or a trading desk at Merrill Lynch. I mean, again, the Goldman Sachs is the Merrill guys. They're there to facilitate the hedge for... And I remember, like, I traded cotton back... in the mid-1990s, and there was a nasty blight that hit the cotton market, and cotton prices rallied from like 50, 60 cents to over $1. And I remember this one firm out of Memphis, they made the top cotton call, and cotton zoomed up to $1.20, $1.30, but they were saying the top is in, and they started to actually recommend hedges at 90 cents and above. Now, those are the commercials. They talk to the farming industry, the people that are in the farming business. They might have a trader on Goldman Sachs' desk who's going to take the opposite side of that trade, and he, gee whiz, has no choice but to make money on the trade. As I said, it's very complicated. I don't like how Mr. Bond guy doesn't go into detail about the actual mechanisms of the data that he's interpreting. Now, the number one thing I would say about this is you want to watch for these sort of resets. The reset is actually an important thing because industry and the financial services industry supporting them, everybody's books are square. And so at that point, what is the trend going forward? Interesting how the market actually went through quite a dramatic rally as sort of everything squared up. But you'll notice that the commercials started to build long positions. i.e., remember, they take the opposite side of the trade. And notice, so they take the opposite side of the trade, they're expecting prices to start trending lower. It's not so much, day-to-day fluctuation, but what I'm more interested in is look at the wide structural base being formed here. Then, and I think this is a pretty good sort of Wyckoff check kind of thinking. Okay, market says, as of this point, the commercials are like, okay, we officially think that the price is going to start trending lower now, and boom, we've got this base in here. So what are they going to do now? And you notice that the initial sort of knee-jerk reaction was, okay, maybe we were wrong. Okay, pull them off. And then, no, we were right. And you get this breakout confirmation of this as well. And then notice, like, the price points, like this pivot right here on the actual breakout was this top, right? Then this pivot, this W breakout, was this top. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is I'm getting a lot of structural information that the commercials are actually thinking that, hey, I think the top in the market is in for bond prices. I do find it interesting, and this is an interesting commentary because I've seen this happen in my career before. And, we might even see this with Bitcoin if we can get around to those price charts. You might see the same thing happen with the corn here. The market, the uptrend, the insane uptrend has broken. We've gotten to a bit of an extreme here. Now, if this can go and M out and break down, and this can W out and break out, in essence, they're facilitating the trade. They're getting short again, which means that they're expecting prices to go back up. Maybe we can, hang in here. We haven't really broken in earnest. We're at a really fascinating level here. If somebody sneezes, this son of a bitch could break. And what I think's going on here is people are getting ready for Joe. And they're getting ready for the Georgia vote. My hunch is if the Georgia vote goes the way of the Democrats, then the socialists have carte blanche to run up the debt and flood the market with supply. If, however, that Georgia vote goes the way of the right wing, Joe could pound the table, but I don't know whether he can really juice the system without both sides of government. My hunch is the right wing in the Senate blocks his efforts to really ramp up any major government spending programs. So that's sort of what I see going on here, and it makes sense. I think that the commercials on balance, as we've moved through this transition, we always say, what are you supposed to think if you ever see the market smiling at you? Now, does the smile take this kind of form? Remember, we saw that through Bitcoin, through the summer. It did that. It sort of smiled out and then sort of slowly, and then ended up, volatility came out, and then begrudgingly it W'd, and then, away we go. So is that kind of that, we're smiling out, but, we'll eventually begrudgingly W out and then, back up. I don't know. Also, too, I don't know whether the commercials can do any more buying to take this up without a new reset coming in here. They are heavily, heavily long. So, if this M does come in, and this is sort of my message to Mr. Bond Guy, is I don't think you put the cart before the horse. You gotta see this M come in. But if the M does come in, then it could spell that bond market rally scenario. And I think that's predicated on whether how that government vote goes in the new year. And do the socialists come piling in and take over the U.S. government? So, fascinating. But to actually say that, hey, the large specs are starting to load up again here, they're washed out, that's dangerous. Because this could very easily M and continue on its way. This could very easily W and continue on its way. And you know what they always say about trend, right? Don't get in the face of a trend. So I'm not going to say that this thing's going to point back up. I'm not going to say that this M is invalidated in price until I actually see these things W out, the commercials M out, and the large institutions W out. That's a big picture, a huge conversation, Probably none of you are even the slightest bit interested in what I'm talking about here, but hey, what the hell. It's my show. I felt like ranting about it today. Last thing I'll say, I don't know, all the bond market, futures market fans. I was actually a futures trader as a junior broker through the time period when the U.S. government actually reissued a new long-dated U.S. Treasury. And they changed the coupon on the bond, and it was back in the 1990s. And I don't think people are ready for that. I don't think they would even slightly consider that. And I got a funny feeling that that new 20-year U.S. Treasury is going to come out with a new coupon, and all of the futures charts are going to just lock limit like $5-10, but it's not real price action. So I've seen that before. I've actually gone through it before. And I was sitting there loud scratching my head going, fuck, man, they're always long. This is a huge rally, and in one day they jumped the market 5 points, but you're not in the trade, so fuck you. Oh, Jesus. So, and I think that prices go down as they reissue a new bond with a lower coupon. Lower coupon means lower interest rate. So to match the current interest rates of the current bond, the bond prices fall dramatically and there is no change to interest rates. So I don't know whether enough people in the world even know that that could potentially be coming down the pike. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of mindless rant and chatter, but I wanted to weigh in a couple points on that gentleman's work, and I highly respect him. I think he's a character, really interesting. On balance, I would generally agree with most of what he has to say. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the social media sort of frenzy right now, this kind of stuff. Don't get sucked into this, please, everybody. You know, if anything, you know, what I often do when markets are face ripping, you know, if we go look at the corn, what I often do is I'll just say, if I'm just like, oh, fuck, I want to buy, I'll give myself permission to go throw in a bid at like 61.8 Mountain Man. Just give yourself permission. Look at I'm so FOMO, I still want to buy. Okay, fine. Let's go throw in a bid at 11,000. And you just never know. I mean, we all know crypto. I don't know whether you, maybe you don't. But, you know, back in the day, I remember actually going through this event in particular. Right when I first came into the space and the silly prices went zooming up to $1,200. And, you know, is this comparable today? Probably not. But I remember one day, and actually it doesn't even show it on here, on one of these exchanges through here, the price tanked down to $150 on like actually I think it was $100 on BTCE. And it did it just like that and then zoomed right back up. You know, a lot of people said that was the Gox people getting out, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is that if you feel that just absolutely insane FOMO and you're just like, oh, I want to buy, I got to do something, give yourself permission to throw in stink bids. And you never know in this crazy world. I mean, shit sometimes happens. Maybe you go on vacation or something and you forget about it, and then all of a sudden the thing comes down 3 or 4 months from now and you get an email, hey, you just bought some Bitcoins. You're like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, cool, awesome. You'd be surprised. Sometimes crazy gifts like that come out of nowhere. And the worst part about this, right, doing these videos week after week after week, knowing, you know, market's going parabolic, we're coming up against these old highs. There's probably A, B, C, D, some sort of harmonic up in here, Jupiter, Saturn, cross, blah, blah, blah. How can I possibly say, yeah, it's a perfectly good idea to go and invest money in this? I mean, I can't. And unfortunately, you know, that's probably a great hallmark of sort of, how does it go? Like, the last cycle, it was the same sort of thing. We were breaking out through 1,000. Or was that? I guess that was up through here. All through this period here. Right? Market is churning and breaking to new highs, and people are coming and saying, Brian, should I buy Bitcoins? And I'm like, well, cost of production's down in this area. You see where we are. Could we pull back, right? And I go, I might work reload bids. I'm a cheap ass. I'm scared shitless. You could be coming into a top. And then, a few months later, Brian, I thought you said that there was a top and this was risky. And then a few months later, I thought you said this is risky. Now I could have tripled my money if I had just gone and not listened to you. We're in that kind of environment right now. It's exactly the same thing. It kind of doesn't make this a lot of fun because I like to talk about stuff that I can realistically say to, people listening, hey, you know what? I'm buying this and I think there's money to be made. I look at that and I don't know where the fuck the top is. I don't. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. Drew you some pretty crazy ass levels. We could work our way all the way up to what was that crazy foggy level we did off of this thing? I think it's like something like 50 grand or something. It's just nuts. I don't know what kind of head of steam these kids have behind them, And when I mean kids, I'm talking about these humans. There's plenty of guys who chase the market that are 80 years old. And I remember, that Willie, I built that Willie indicator for you guys. Let's see. So Mr. Foggenbaum says, let's see where the hell this thing's going. Ready? I don't know where it is. There it is. Oh, look at that. 50 G's right on the nose. Do you think that's an accident? I don't know. Maybe. So, what do you say? Hey. I think I told you, but this is a 2-week chart now. You go and buy this, you got to be able to totally handle this kind of risk. You buy here, you got to be able to handle all this kind of risk. I don't know where the hell this thing's going in the short term. We always say Bitcoin can't finish a move without some sort of horrendous face move up or face rip up. Well, we're getting it, so way to go, Bitcoin. Big celestial event, Jupiter Saturn cross, rah rah rah. And what kills me though is I don't know how this is going to play out, but holy shit. The hammer's coming. Reporting requirements for CVC and LTDA transactions exceeding $10,000 in value. So now with Bitcoin 20, 30,000, in essence, every single movement of a third of a Bitcoin is now subject to reporting. Pursuant to the proposed rules, banks and MSBs will have 15 days from the date of which reporting transaction occurs to file a report. Proposed rule would require banks, MSBs to keep records of customer CVA, LTDA, transaction counterparts, including verify the identity of customers. Kaboom! Half of crypto goes, oh, fuck me. If a counterparty uses an unhosted or otherwise covered wallet and the transaction is greater than $3,000, they got to include bum, 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 bum. So, we all, did you really think Big Brother was going to let crypto just sort of sneak on by without getting its, hooks in it? And like I said, I don't think this guy understands any of this. So be careful, everyone. Please, for God's sakes, be careful. We're all chickens. Try to be chicken shit, man. What's really interesting is if you ever tried to catch a chicken with your bare hands, it's tough. And if anything, that's probably a good way for you to live your life, right? Is be chicken shit. Every Sunday. Oh, God. All right. So, I just don't know what to say to you guys here. Are there any crypto names that I like? While Bitcoin's doing this, it's going to be very difficult to make sort of sense out of investing, if you will. Especially, a lot of these altcoin ideas, right? They base their value off, okay, well, theoretically, Bitcoin's this price, so, we kind of, if Bitcoin's revaluing itself 10, 20% on a daily basis, these altcoins, it's going to be spaghetti, right? And the order books are going to be a mess. You could try and outsmart these order book guys on crypto, but I think, I've sort of warned you about this, especially if you're going to trade on sites like Trex. Ironically enough, it used to be the exact opposite. Trex was relatively liquid, lots of participants, so not so bad. And Binance was just coming on the scene, and, Cryptopia and stuff like that. Order book's terrible. Polo, at that time was very liquid. Now it's completely flipped around. Binance is the liquid site, and a site like Trex, stunningly manipulated. And here's a good example. I mean, I like the Ubix story. I could be a fool for liking it. Don't get me wrong. Could be a total fool. And of course, that leaves me wide open. Here come the one-liners. Where's Mr. Would you shut up and tell us something of value? Just kidding. I mean, look at this nonsense. I mean, they're just fucking around with the kids here. It's kind of a shame, but I mean, I love that picture. Look at that. I mean, that's ridiculous. So that's why I like this. But could we fuck around here for 6 months, a year down in here? And then you get these funny little pops out of nowhere that give you your doubles if you have your orders working, blah, 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 blah. Sure. But this doesn't surprise me. Especially on Trex. Be damn careful. Anything that's just listed on Trex, especially Ubik and these guys, be careful. Be very, very careful. Probably, actually, kind of interesting. We were talking about Doge on the site there the other day. I kept saying, hey, geez, it looks kind of interesting down here. Where the hell's that damn chart? It was... What did I do with that? It's around here somewhere. Darn. I hate when I lose charts. Anyway, it was up in here on one of these, but maybe I put it away. No. No, well, maybe it was this chart. Anyway. Doge sure look interesting down here. You can see I've drawn, this is just off a clothesline too. If you go off of the whole range, 50% level is 37 on Doge. So, I mean, yeah, obviously anybody who came in here, if you didn't get your fill off through there, you're all pissed off. I still think anybody who bought in here, you're probably going to make money down the road. But any new money, I'm sure Shane. Shane, did you go pick some of this up? And you know who came out and touted this thing today, which I mean, I don't know. I suppose he's a rocket scientist. He's a brain surgeon. And now he's a cryptocurrency expert, too. Sure, sounds good to me. So Mr. Wonderful is now touting Doge. So it looks like it caught a bit of a bid on his pump. Is that really the cleanest looking bottom? I don't know. But, gaps often like to be filled in. So, this happens to be on Trex where I have my account. Probably the Binance name. Probably the chart looks a lot cleaner. But, there's probably a bottom fish. And I think I put a tweet out to that effect. Because of this gap, you could throw your bid in there at 15. You probably get filled over time. But, as the pump goes, he's obviously got a pretty big following. So, 37 is not out of the question there. And that's the kind of environment we're in. If you happen to catch ones that have got good buying interest and nice, I don't know how Doge is going to act here with this, with that legislation shit that I showed you. Because if Doge is for real, then we should turn here. If, however, that legislation just shits on anonymous coins, Dash might not be done yet. So be forewarned about anonymous coins. I often wonder whether Geo, which is another one of my favorite, it's sort of a proxy on that Ubic chain. I wonder if it's going to be Geo that actually drives that Ubic, because I love Geo and I think it's in a fabulous location. Obviously, you can see it's been a real grind here where the hell the damn bottom is, but oh my goodness, there's tons and tons of money to be made on this thing when they finally turn the corner here. So that might be one of the things. And of course, with COVID, Ubic being Canadian, could you have some sort of spin, tracking of COVID virus crap through all that? It could be. So this kind of name could make us fucking stinking rich. So fingers crossed. It's what I'm doing with my money. I couldn't give a fuck what you do with your money. Don't care, don't care, don't care. No vested interest. Not financial advice. You know how the shill goes. This is edutainment purposes only. We're trying to sell t-shirts. In fact, Kevin, Kevin, you're here, eh? Man, every YouTuber's got a link to their goddamn swag channel. Can we put that Rational Investor? Is it possible for the public to buy that t-shirt? Are you here? I think you're here. Yeah? Maybe if you could throw the link to that and we'll start promoting the swag and see if we can actually make some money from this damn YouTube page. Just kidding. I don't need any money. I got all the money I need. Funny thing is, I remember my old man, he used to always say this, you could always have all the money you ever need, and then you always want a little more. I don't need anything, but I wouldn't mind seeing a bunch of people running around with Opportunity Is Now Here t-shirts. That would be so cool. But Where's Waldo? You just sort of find them around the world. That would be so cool. Okay. The one area I wanted to sort of check in on was DeFi. I don't know how DeFi is interpreting that bombshell from the U.S. government. I wonder whether DeFi is going to make, or whether that legislation is going to make DeFi's life challenging here. I don't know. I suppose all our DeFi fans, are you still Astronaut Dave? I don't know whether Dave's around, or whether he's gone back to Farmer Dave. But I am seeing, like this Wi-Fi. Oh boy, that's nasty M looking action there. That's versus that BNB coin, right? You can see versus Bitcoin kind of rolling over here. I was really proud of my little Kusama stink bid there the other day, but no traction on the other side. So it looks like we're back eating that tail. What the hell's going on with Chainlink here? Something went wrong there. Isn't that supposed to be bullish? So something's not right there. Good old energy webs. What the hell's going on with Crypto Chico? Is it Crypto Chico guarantee these things? Just kidding, of course. There's none of this shit's guaranteed. But interesting to see that energy web's still moving lower. So I'm not feeling it. Chico-tainment. So what's that? Am I BMO-tainment? BMO-tainment. Oh, God. Well, no, throw it on the YouTube page, dude. But yeah, totally awesome, Kevin. And FYI, everyone, without Kevin, half of this shit I couldn't do on the site. I mean, he's so fucking awesome. Bit entertainment. Bit entertainment. So anyway, point I'm trying to make here, I'd have to start seeing some W's in the DeFi names for me to actually start going, okay, let's do this thing. Probably the big index here. Actually, what I kind of see? What is that? Actually, this would be a curious quiz. What kind of chart pattern does that look like? Actually, the silver chart looks almost identical to this. Where's David O when you need him? Kevin, can you see what I'm seeing? So it's it looks a little tough to interpret this, but it almost looks like boom, 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 something like this. Up through there, eh? You can really see the fight in here. It's trying to poke its head up top, eh? So, you know, a fractal, right? Think of like a maple leaf, right? What does it kind of look like? The only problem, though, is that, you know, is this a good place to go put new money to work? You see Mountain Man, I mean, he's just sitting there right up top. This actually would be a really great example where, you know, if this was a crude oil chart, right? Mountain would be sitting right there. Going, all right, you son of a bitch, I'm going to hit you. And, of course, Brian, he'd be sitting, what's a good sign for Brian? Didn't they used to have, like, Bitcoin icons and stuff on here? I got rid of a lot of stuff. I'm so disappointed. Oh, there it is. All right, so there's Brian. Where's Brian go? Whoops. There he is. Boom. So Brian's long is bought, and Mountain Man's sitting there at his level waiting for me. And he's actually like, okay, Brian, you know, no problem. Come on up to me. So if Brandon gets his fill, actually this is measured off of here, so that's not even right. Sorry, everyone. Oh, actually this is even better. This is totally perfect. So where are we here? 61.8, 78.6. Hey, there we go. So Brian's long. Brandon just hit the fucking bid, the bastard. Right there. So I've given myself permission to move my stop to here. I move stop to scratch. Actually, it looks like... Oh, wonderful. So I've actually, according to my system, I'm in position now where I can start trailing my stop. So if I start seeing an M come in here, then I'll get the hell out. So I'm still long. I'm trailing stops. There's a number of different ways you can trail stops. And Brandon just shorted. Actually, he might have shorted that and probably took some profits there. So what am I trying to say here? I don't mind, you know, there's a nice W there. There's a nice test of the W, nice inside bar reversal. So I don't mind that bought long. But the trade looks like it's getting a little old in the tooth. Bit dangerous to come in on the long side here, I think. 78.6 now. Whoops. I guess when I originally drew this, I noticed that bought targets in 78.6. Looks like now it's like 78.6 to 88.6. But, you know, could I see a stab up into that area here to finish this move? Sure, why not? Jupiter, Saturn cross, what the hell? Ethereum actually has got its big event in February too. So what you might find here is we actually backfill, and then finish the move actually well into the new year on Ethereum and DeFi and all that kind of shit. So don't be surprised if, you know, maybe we back up here a little bit, you know, maybe that euphoria around the Bitcoin tax event, all that kind of shit, maybe put in a nice base here and keep an eye on these bot levels. There might be another bot entry here coming down the pike. But right there, ooh, ugly, tough situation. And, you know, the individual, I don't know, it would be kind of cool to sort of get a breakdown of all the individual names. You know, this kind of thing, no fucking way I could buy that there. Dot looks like it's just making new lows. This little PIEW, it's kind of cute little bull flag trying to play out. This Kusama, I do like the location. Beautiful W, nice Wyckoff check. So everything's there, except there's a goddamn M in our faces. So there's no W working here in the short term. I don't see any sort of mad rush to buy. As soon as W's do start coming in, maybe we can get bullish. Probably my favorite one out of this whole space is this stake, but the problem is I've still got bids down here. So I would actually prefer that we get one more push lower here to give me those fills down in here. So sorry, guys. And really, all I see here is just sideways. So DeFi, I don't know. So I'm a little surprised to see Link really fell out of bed there, right? That's not so good. So, you know, do I see anything going absolutely ape shit to the upside? Nah, not really right now. There are some cute names, you know. There's some fun names. Yeah, what's going ape shit is the corn, right? Oh, big surprise. But there are some fun names that are coming alive again that I haven't seen perform in a while. What the hell's this thing? I don't remember we were looking at this thing the other day. What's going on there? What is this? Oh, nice trade. Damn. Anybody get in on that shit? Not quite sure. I remember CRW, like Sjord was following this for some reason. Oh. Why did that come up on our screeners? Anyway. Okay. Sorry. Shiny object, shiny object. I don't know. There's nothing really to get too excited about that. It's funny how they're like recycling these names. Now you don't even see the charts from way back when. I don't quite understand that. Great example of, you know, I bought some of these altcoins back in this run here. Bought my Verge at 2 sats. Yeah, looks like this is the same shit. So, you know, if you can think like this Igneous, this one's gotten a bit of attention recently. I mean, obviously there's going to be a wild range in there for the next while. But, there's the Doge, right? Actually interesting. So on Polo, you can see that double bottom's holding. It's actually not a bad looking little chart, you know. Even just off of this range right here. You're like, okay, well, Musk always makes money, so I want to join him. So reload zones, I can buy anywhere between about 17 and 18. So right now, is the offer 18? If the offer is 18, it's Mountain Man. Maybe throw in your bid, 17. 16, of course, is good old Kavarkinator. Anywhere in here, it's not a terrible place to take a shot. I thought this one was funny. Look at that chart. Holy moly. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know what the story is here. If I remember correctly, EXCL. Okay, thanks, Grant. Appreciate that. GRT. Yeah, I mean, there are some fun little names out there. I mean, I don't know what the fuck this thing's up to. Is it going to survive? I mean, do you trade on Polex? Poloniex? I don't know. Picture says 1,000 words. BCH, I thought this was funny. What the hell happened here? This thing's only like $200-300, and it was. Isn't this the real Bitcoin? This is Roger Ver's, right? Man, what a train wreck. Anyway, so, you know, be careful. This to me looks very, very sort of venture capital. When you know, like when they're acting like altcoins, and they will, it's just market cycles for the shit coins, and prices are doing this kind of shit. Well, you kind of want to let them have them. If anything, it's good for crypto right now is that it's not acting that way. So as a result, there's probably more gas in the tank. Let's zoom right in on this one. NXT. I don't know what the story is here, but you can see 1, 2, 3, now 4 lows there. Is that a quadruple bottom? It's probably a good idea. Somebody had asked recently, should I look at these versus Bitcoin? Should I look at them versus US dollar? I would do both, right? And a good trade will look good versus both. So I don't even know what the hell this looks like. Let's see. Okay, well, I mean, hopefully you can see versus dollar. There's a letter of the alphabet that Brian kind of likes to see. Does this thing have any room to move back up? Well, it's got a little bit of room. Are there any gaps to the upside that maybe we can use as price objectives? Looks like there's a gap right there. Yeah, let's see. Anything else higher? Well, that's pretty clean. Whoops, there's another gap right there. And actually, this is, you know, it's liquid, right? This thing's traded a shitload, so these gaps actually should be pretty relevant. So if we just look at those two, I'm not even going to say we're going back up here. Let's just use those two. Oh, that's pretty close. But, I think your double bottom probably fires off of this. If you wanted to take this shot, it's not a terrible shot. Let's see what we got here. Boom. Yeah. So these gaps are probably not too relevant here in the short term. They're probably more relevant for this little W down in here. But I don't know what the hell the story is here, but you can see foggy off of that big ass W will take us up into here. You want to maybe wait. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not really telling you how to trade this. There's a million different ways to skin this cat. But I don't even know what the story is. NXT, does anybody know what these guys do? There's a bunch of them down here. Mona should probably be an interesting story here. Look at that. Mona's just falling out of bed. We got off some nice doubles last year on this. Got some free coins. What does this thing look versus US dollar? I remember this thing used to be so popular. USD. Probably should value it versus yen. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, look at that chart. I mean, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. The only problem here is you got to make damn sure that you can report your purchase. You participate on an exchange that's legal, that isn't run by guys who run Cabbage Coin, you know, you play this game on the up and up. I mean, the irony of it all is, hopefully I've shown you guys, if you play this game correctly, there's more money to be made than you ever need. You just have to be patient and disciplined. When charts look like this, you see the W's down in here. You got to step in and go, okay, well, what are the odds of me getting some free coins on any kind of move like this? Sell when it hits that level, so you got your free position, you get your money back, and then, hey, yeah, risk-free trade from there on. Who knows what the fuck this does? Well, I can see the same thing that happened right through here. I can see the same thing happening here. It's happening as we speak. It's remarkable. Anyway, party. Man, I so love this Geo. I mean, look at that. Is this thing got any room to move up here? And I've always loved this story. This is always a fan favorite with the crypto OGs. They love this story. Obviously, it's not running today. But that's sort of a sentimental favorite. I was looking through the pod coins. I couldn't believe it. Look at what the pod coins are doing here. Nobody's interested in pod coins right now. Into the end of the year. Tax loss selling. Bottom end of the range. What's the odds? What is this? This is 37. So that means I got to see. I remember I did this with you guys back on fucking library credits. Remember? What are the odds on this thing Wing sometime over the next year or two? And it did it in like next week. So, what are the odds in this thing hitting, what is that, 37? Hitting, what's that? That's 60, 72, 74, right? Hitting that level over the next year or two. What are the odds? That yellow line getting traded to at some time over the next year or two. Is it worth your while to take a shot? I think I might just go buy some pot coins. Actually, and I noticed THC just got reorganized by Trek, so they're getting ready to run that son of a bitch. And oh, by the way, 420 is coming. This stuff is so cliche. It's ridiculous. How does it? I haven't actually quizzed you guys. How long have I been babbling here? Should I shut up now? What is it? It's noon. About an hour or so. Did anybody get any value out of any of this? Did I say anything that was of any value to anybody? Sure hope so. Never know. Oh, we should probably mention. Well, we got another school term coming up here in January. I know there's one guy, who every single term is determined to win the contest and the seat in the level 1 program. So, this is your golden ticket now. We got another raffle coming up. And I gotta hand it to you, patience and discipline to stick around. And I'm not gonna FOMO buy this fucker's course. I'm getting it for free, and I'm gonna sit here for the next 15 years and enter in every goddamn raffle until I win. Now that is patience and discipline. So good luck to you, buddy. You're entering sure. You are? I thought, didn't you win? Who was it that won? I think we had somebody won. When nobody is interested. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good enough. Whatever. Point is, we should. I should probably over the next couple of weeks talk more and more about that raffle. Just an FYI, it was really fun to see you guys post comments and stuff in previous videos as sort of your ticket into the raffle. That was really cool. The only problem is it just produced so much work for poor old Kevin that it wasn't really fair to him. So we would ideally like you to go to our sign up page. Does anybody know have that page address handy? I can't remember what the hell it is. You think, Brian, isn't this your website? Are you trying to do business here? There is a sign up page somewhere. I'm sure Kevin will probably put it in the description of the link or whatever for the raffle coming up. And what the hell, if we can change your life and if it was meant to be, I'll say that a lot of people that have taken the course winning the level 1 raffle have done very, very well. In fact, actually, I made reference to David O in the inverted head and shoulders recently, and he was a raffle seat winner, and he's gone on to do incredible things. So anyway, I'll see you. I suppose we should mention it. I don't maybe. We got this silly web page. There might be something actually on the web page. I know that's a crazy idea, but why don't we just look? I know there's this. So does this have? Maybe this is it. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, there we go. Why don't we use this? We'll use this. I think this is what we have to use. I don't know. I'm sure. But if it is... then awesome, right? I'll put that in the description too. So, and of course, I love this website. It's so cool, right? Because it got cool little videos and stuff of our site members and alumni. Reza, right? Hey, Shane, have you checked in with Reza lately? Do we have any idea where the hell in the world he is now? Where in the world is Reza at the moment? Oh, Shane, are you still here? I guess Shane's gone. That's too bad. Okay, I don't know. Why don't we do some viewer requests? What the hell do you want me to look at? First person to put something on the YouTube page, we'll take a look at it, and I'll give you my 2 cents. I don't know what the hell that's worth, but I'll at least tell you what I think of it. What time is it? It's noon. I have to be with Liam in about 2 hours, so got lots of time. Where in the world are those YouTube people? Palantir. What's Palantir? Is that a stock? GI for today. Ciao, Brian. All right. Ciao, Bella. Che bello! Palantir. Hey, look at that. Palantir Tech. Boom. I can't touch that. You should see exactly where I'd want to belong. Hello, little W's. www by the something.com. Can't really do anything now. Suppose if you're lucky, you could bot this thing up. So, something like that, and like that, and like that. Ideally, I would like to see a nice trend line break. So that doesn't come till over here. I've got one low. Got a bit of a base. I think I'd want to actually get a nice close above that level. But the problem here is it's going to bang into that trend line. And our rule is it's not a buy signal until it W's on the other side of the trend line. So that's what I'd ideally like to see. Actually, a good example of that was, what's that stock? FM. That's not what I wanted. What the hell's that damn silver stock we just bought? First Majestic? I thought it was FM. Maybe it's FXM. No. Okay, now I'm on drugs. Drugs. More underpants. FM. Nope, not FM. That was a damn silver stock. Do 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 FR. So close. FR. Boom. All right, but not in the States. Man, I'll get this eventually. Hey, there we go. It's a miracle. So here's an example. Going back to your. Oops. Let's go. Well, why something like that? Actually, I think I went like that, and then like that kind of thing. So, you might get a rally up into the trend line, then the break, and then you get the damn thing come sliding back the other side. So, I get the feeling that your idea is sort of like right in here. So what the hell was that we were looking at just a moment ago? Palantir or whatever. Nope, I misspelled it. P-A-L-A-N. There it is. I don't even know what these guys do. But same sort of thing. Can you see that same thing? You're probably going to get a bump up into the trend line. But really, ideally, to get the buy signal, you'd really like to see a W on the other side. Kind of like what I'm saying there. So you're probably going to see this, right? Bang. Then it's, and I see this happen all the time. It's such a piss off. It like M's out and then it walks down the other side of the trend line. You're like, oh man, get a break on the other side of this trend line. Then give me a W on the other side. So hopefully you can see that in this thing, the fucking kick-ass buy signal, of course, was right there, right? The W on the other side of the trend line. Cool? Make sense? Who asked for that? Palantir. What's that? Jared. Jared, does that make sense? You asked. That's my 2 cents. Oh, I guess maybe it's the other way. Oh, but now since I drew that, it's gone. Oh, well. Yeah, I did. Thanks, Brian. All right, cool. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I think you're just a bit early to play trend continuation. Do you see how this thing took some time, consolidated, 3 higher lows? All right, maybe we got something to work with. That's what I'd want to see on your name. And, what an example, don't, like your little thing, you might go, I'm not done with you yet. I gotta remember what the damn symbol is. Not this again. B-A-L-A. There it is. Be careful here, right? Because I'll show you in a moment. If this thing does carve out and it starts to turn back up, don't leave it behind if you really like it, if the internals are strong. You might look at this and go, okay, well, that Beamish guy says reload zone. I'm a cheap ass. So I'm going to work my bid, down at these gaps. Cool, right? And you're thinking, okay, it'll work its way down, right? Check this out. This drives you crazy. Ugh, And only if you've been in the market forever do you really see this. Most people, new people that are trading, they just give up on this stuff. But it's not like I'm going anywhere. I've been at this game forever. And I'll probably be at this game for a little bit longer. So here's a good example. Bought the stock down in here, feeling all proud of myself. Nice, banging off doubles, whatever, up into resistance. And then I go, okay, well, don't want to chase, want to be a responsible investor. So we're going to reload zone this shit. Whoops, let's go the other direction. Throw my bids at the gaps exactly the same as that other chart, eh? And the market just goes, well, I'm going to set up a nice bot setup. And actually, I'm even going to far exceed your bot setup, right? So at least 30, then one low, then, I don't know, 2 lows, 3 lows. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was just uglier than sin. That was your price objective just off of that. And look at what the goddamn thing does, right? So, all I'm going to say with regard to that Palantir is that I'm a cheap ass. So I'm not allowed to chase. And kind of like Bitcoin, right? Same sort of logic. Because I'm a cheap ass by definition, I look at something like this and it makes me queasy. But there's no reason why this can't consolidate, and if the fundamentals and the earning number just keep coming in, it just keeps charging its way higher, just like that SI. So trend continuation, cheap ass, gonna try and sneak in at value at the bottom end of the range. Those are the two ways I would look at this. So, wow, you got your money's worth there, eh, bud? Right, one more, and then we'll call it quits. What's a good one to look at? I've been hearing a lot of people talking about Beam. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know, maybe somebody... What is Beam? In cryptocurrency? Let's see what the hell this thing is. Ooh, hello. Hey, geez. Well, I should have listened to you guys. Should have listened. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Kevin, do we have an opinion on this thing? Always check in with Kevin. He's my keep you honest indicator. Nope, no opinion. Interesting. All right. Obviously, the other side is saying, Brian, pay fucking attention. Jesus, look at that chart. It's a good looking chart. I don't know who asked about this. Somebody asked about this. Look at that. That's a stone cold LJ. So I don't know what these guys do. But I think you can see the basic logic. Whoever asked me, I don't know whether it was on YouTube or on Twitter. Jeez, nice pick. You stone cold honkies. Look at that. Textbook. So maybe site people. Somebody could do me a favor and mention this to Jamie, so he'll do some fundamental analysis on this. Or even maybe, our site's got a whole bunch of cool crypto enthusiasts. You guys are interested? Kevin? I don't know, maybe take a look at this. Oh, we got a nice, bull div as confirmed. Huge volume breakout. W's. Oh, look at that. It was even a Davo there. Coming off that bottom was a freaking Davo. Davos. So, W in OBV. W in RSI. W in Willie. All at the same time. So, wherever you were, Mr. Beam, that was a nice pick. So you could totally RLZ this stuff now. Probably not a good idea to chase, but, you know, throw some stink bids. I mean, you're not right up at the top now. You can see where the Wyckoff check will come in. Interesting how basically the clothesline Wyckoff check is going to be Mountain Man there. So not a bad level. And, of course, there's Kevin sitting down there at 88.6, right on that candle body low level. So, I like how you're thinking there, Mr. Beam. Not bad. Oh, I see. Oh, this is kind of cool. So this is a reload zone within a reload zone. RLZs within RLZs. Super sexy trade location. That's a good idea. Kind of cool. Whoever said that, I think we'll probably leave the video on that. That's a really cool looking chart. So I'll do a site survey. I'll post that in the lounge. You can tell me what is the backstory on that. Anyway. Okay. I think I'm going to leave the rant at that for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Got some value out of all this. Thank you for more sound bites. Oh, geez. Let's see what Andre had to say today. Oh, boy. It's always an adventure.
Shouldn't we debate this new $2 trillion in debt?
Shut up! I don't want a bunch of robots. And we get ready for a fucking orgy central. Woo! I can't go any higher, Brian. Your screen stopped. I want to go higher. S&P 500 Brett, their DI proprietary tool. Somebody asked me, how can I load that on trading? Got to get that on some sort of memory stick. Awesome. Bury it in the ground. All right, everybody. Have yourselves an awesome rest of your day. PMA for the win. Feel free to join that wait list for the raffle. Maybe we can change your life. Of course, maybe consider just joining the education program. Just let me change your life. It's up to you. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. Please, everybody, wish me luck with Liam. I think your positive karmic wishes help me immensely. I'll sit and listen to this rant back this afternoon, see if I said anything overtly stupid. I don't think so, though. I think I got off a pretty clean episode here. So hit that like button, the subscribe button, ring Colleen's bell. Go watch The Bond King. Go watch George to pick apart the Molly the Millennial. And let's see if we can set you up for this next greed cycle to go make a shitload of money. Because I'll tell you, there's a lot of money to be made out there. Somebody's going to make it. It's up to you whether you want to be a part of it. It's just sitting there. So, all right, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.